Hello, I'm doing things a little differently this time. You'll see a few differences. First, I'm not live. That's because it is very late at night and I don't want notifications showing up on people's phones for things that they don't want to wake up for, because I don't like waking up for things. And I don't want you guys to have to do that either. Second, you'll see my soap is already mixed up. So I already mixed up the colors and I let it thicken a little bit. That was for two reasons. First, I don't want you guys sitting there waiting while I am trying to get the right thickness, because sometimes that is just a waiting game. You can't do anything other than let it sit. And then also, excuse me. Also, it makes me a little less nervous that way when I am working live. I don't want you guys to just be sitting there bored. so I get a little anxious to get things moving, which makes me more prone to mistakes. So we're starting out with the same colors as yesterday. So this is Marble Take 2. I have my black, I have my white and gray, and I have my gold. I'm going to do this very similarly to yesterday, but just a little different. The biggest thing is that it's a lot thicker. So thicker means more defined colors. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to swirl my, oh yeah, it's a lot thicker. I'm going to swirl my white into my black. Right in the pot. Just like I did yesterday. So I had considered changing a few things with this. I think the one main thing I'm changing is that my mica line is not going to be white. The white did not work well for that. My mica line is going to be gold this time. Other than that, I'm pretty much going with the same way. Even the one thing that I ran into with take one was that with the shape of the bars, I had to cut it with a knife instead of my usual cutter. I'm going to swirl this a little bit here. So I had to cut it with a knife instead of my normal cutter, and when I use a knife, it has a tendency to crack the soap a little bit, so it cracked it on the edges. And I wound up really liking that. It looked like natural cut marble that just is a little rough on the edges. So it was really neat. So I'm keeping that. I'm still going to cut it the same way. I really am doing a lot the same. The consistency is where I'm putting my focus. So this is a heck of a lot thicker, and hopefully we'll see more distinct features that way. You see all that? Can you see? I'm hoping this is in frame. The other big difference I have, oh yeah, okay, I'm really hoping this is in frame. Just scoot this over here. So yeah, hopefully you can see all that in there. The other big difference I have is I'm using more of the gold soap this time. I feel like last time I kind of ran out before I wanted to, which is why my black and white mixture is all fitting into one of my little pots this time. Well, it's kind of fitting all in one little pot. Now the problem, actually, I'm going to hold on. I'm going to save that. I'll refill this thing. The problem with it being thick is it makes it harder to come up with spouts. So you get to laugh at me while I try really hard to make this do things that it doesn't want to do. Alright, so here's my gold now, coming in with that little stripe down the center. Little stripe, come on, little stripe. See, thick does not want to come out the little spout. Ooh, alright. That little stripe, I mean big clump. Alright, so again, I'm going to try to make this a little streaky. Oh yeah, okay. Once it gets going, that gold looks good. Need a little more now though. So we got our veining, we got our fogginess. There's an actual term for the fogginess. If you talk to somebody who knew a little more about marble, they'd probably be able to tell you. I'm sure they'd be able to tell you. I certainly cannot. Cannot remember. Oh yeah. So in case you forgot from yesterday, I am working on getting this about not much further actually. I want to get this a little more than halfway, then do the mica line, then pierce through the mica line so that both halves, when I cut horizontally, show that mica. Now, fun fact that I hope is a fact. I learned it recently, but you know, you can't trust everything on the internet, right? Fun fact, mica is the mineral, excuse me, gotta smack this around a little bit. Mica is the mineral used for my soap colorants, most of them anyway. There's a variety, but most of them are micas. It also happens to be what naturally creates the veining in a lot of marble. So the colors I'm using are literally perfect because they're the same material as what is actually in real marble. Kind of nifty. Fun fact, completely unrelated to soap. My best buddy uses the word nifty all the time, and I used to pick on her for it, and then I caught it. Gotta watch that stuff. Alright, I'm gonna pour, I'm just moving stuff all over the place, watching it dance here. I'm gonna pour this in and see how close to half I have. If you watched last night, which by the time you watch this video will be 2 nights ago, there's a definite difference in consistency. So let me see if I can, let's see. You see that? Oh yeah, so there you go. There's a look at the inside right now. Oh yeah, it looks like everything was in frame. And we are probably a little more than halfway. Decisions. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do it. Okay, so I'm going to work on that mica line now with my pretty shimmery gold. Look at this. Look at this. Let me see if I can get this up there. Can you see how shimmery that is? Oh, you really can't. It's just, the flash is bouncing right off of it, and I can't touch the flash right now. Well, that's unfortunate. This is super shimmery. Love it. I'm not much of a gold person, much more of a silver, but this one makes me want to change my mind. My husband is sleeping on the other side of this wall, so I'm sure that he's listening going, oh, she's talking to herself again. I did not mention that I was going to be filming. The thing about a mica line is I want it to be thick enough that it's noticeable and not so thick that the soap doesn't want to keep together in that spot. I want it to not separate. Alright. So let me see if you can see that. Oh, now you can see that shimmer. Look at that gold. It's actually just some kind of in the air. The flash is catching, so that's kind of neat. Okay. I'm going to clean it up a little bit with my rubbing alcohol. And that is just to keep the sides kind of neat when I'm cutting later on. Mica is really pretty, but it gets everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. I probably complained about this yesterday and I just don't remember. Alright, much better shape now. Okay, well let's do a little more. Actually, I'm thinking, nah. I was considering going directly into the mold with the gold, but I think that might be a bit too much. I might actually wind up not even using all that gold. It's always one thing or another. Alright, trying to go a little higher up because I want this to pierce through if it can. Alright, it is not piercing very well because now it is too thick. One thing with the thin is it pierces very, very well. Alright, how am I going to pierce this? I'm trying to decide what tool will most likely have the effect that I want. I'm thinking this one here that I used earlier for the black. Alright, so I'm just pushing this in, creating some texture in that mica while trying to not stir it in. I just want it to have texture. Actually, this might create that break look that marble is known for, hopefully. Alright, super nervous about that one. Always experimentation here. One thing I'm really bad at with these videos is I'm pretty sure from a marketing standpoint I'm supposed to be like, oh, that went perfectly. Oh, I love it. Yes, I knew that would happen. Oh, I'm a genius. And instead it's a little more like, well, didn't mean to do that, but I like it. Alright, I'm just trying to make veins and streaks as much as I can here. It is quite thick. I think I missed my happy medium a little. It's real hard to find. It's real hard to find. Just like every other part of life, right? Happy medium is real hard to find. But, just like other parts of life, sometimes at the end of it, turns out a lot better than you would have expected or imagined. So that is what I'm hoping for when I cut into this tomorrow. Or it's so gloomy. Trying to get into the sides. I want to get the corners. I am going to hold off on the rest of this gold, which means this will go in a little sample thing. Somebody will get a nice little gold piece of soap with their order of $25 or more. It'll be in one of the mystery bags. So if anybody hasn't seen yet, we now have little mystery goodie bags for orders of $25 or more at bubblyducky.com. And if it's buy 5, get 1 free. So if you buy 5 of anything on the site, mix and match anything you want, your lowest, you can get 1 more item, lowest price item will be free. Alright, so I'm going to bang this down a whole bunch, which I'm not going to do on camera for your benefit. And so you see right now it's all lumpy. It won't be lumpy. It'll be nice and smooth. Then I'll cut this tomorrow and see which one worked better, this one or the last one I did. I still have one more idea, but for this other idea, I'm actually going to have to buy more of my gold mica. So if I take one more shot of this, which I shouldn't, I do not need 3 batches of the soap. I should, well, they're small batches, maybe I should. If I take one more shot of this, it will be a completely different technique altogether. I'm going to try one where I actually just cut it regularly, which would mean having it kind of lumpy like it is today, and sprinkling mica over that and just layering it a whole bunch. It's going to take patience. I don't have a lot of that, but either way, we'll see. Hopefully, technique number 2 looks even better than number 1, which number 1 looked pretty darn good, just had more of a granite than a marble effect. I will see you guys later. Thank you for joining me. Good night.